Patrick Cook here. So welcome to session number 18 of our fun with Mandelbulb3D Mutations. In the previous session, I was showing you how you can go about saving mutations directly from MutaGen into a file folder that you can then build a Mandelbulb library. Okay. And I was just showing you, you can right-click on it, send it to the main editor, then come up to the main editor and save it as a JPEG and a parameter file at the same time. Okay. Now, I want to show you something else here. Let's mutate this, crank it all the way, fine, full strength. Full probability. There we go. Okay, good. Let's mutate that. Now, not only can I save it as an M3P parameter file, but a JPEG. All right, but I can also save the properties, which is pretty cool. All right, now I'm going to show you. All right, so we have two generations of multiple mutations right in front of us. Looks good. Let's just say, let's pick on this one right here, okay? Now, certainly I could right-click on it and I can send that to the main editor, calculate it, and then save it off as an M3P and a JPEG at the same time. I can do that, all right? I can also copy the parameters to the clipboard, you see, which is your other option. So that's what I'm going to do. And here's what I'm going to do. All right, now I'm in a Windows machine. So the parameters went to the Windows clipboard. Okay? Now, I'm going to call up the standard old tried and true notepad. Well, let's just get it here where all right, we can see it. Okay, now I'm gonna paste that in. So what I've done here is I've actually just pasted in the parameter files, the parameters for this mutation right here. Now, I don't have the benefit of any of the graphics, but I do have the code that once that code is loaded into the Mandelbulb, and I would do that by copying these things to the clipboard, and then coming up here and opening from clipboard. And let's calculate, and there is my mutation that went up into the main editor via the clipboard. All right. Now I can certainly do this. I can now save as a JPEG and a M3P. I can do that. I can save it to my library file. I don't really have to save this parameter file because the M3P is this file. It is this code. But if I wanted to, I could come here and I could do a save as, and I could navigate to my library, and I could call this, what did I call it? Okay, MutaGen, something like that. I could save it as a text file, that's fine. All right, so I should have a text file sitting in here, and there it is, okay? Let's just let's wipe all this out just to prove that the notepad is empty. All right, and I'm going to now open this in my notepad. I'm going to open it in my notepad. Here we go. All right, copy that, Control C. I'm going to copy that from the clipboard, open from clipboard, calculate it, and there is my graphic. So, just in review, I hope I didn't go too fast or anything. I think it's pretty straightforward. But basically, what I did is I used the MutaGen's copy params to clipboard, and I just did that. And then, all right, then I pasted, and then I just simply saved it into my library. All right, and I can save it into my library, and then at some point in the future, let me clean up a little bit here. All right, some point in the future, I can open that up again, and I can copy those. All right, open from clipboard. All right, and I can then reconstitute my graphic. So, there's a couple different ways that you can actually save your Mandelbulb file structures into your personal library. You can do it as a parameter set, all right, or you can do it as you can save as a JPEG and a M3P. That M3P is this. It's the same thing. It's the only difference is you can see it. Can't understand it because it's all code. Okay. I could actually save only as M3P into my library, but then I wouldn't have the benefit of the JPEG to give me a visual as to what that is. All right, and I can certainly save it as an M3I. Now, an M3I, if you recall from very early on in Tutorial Series number 1, I was talking about building an animation using Mandelbulb3D application. An M3I file is your parameters, that's these, as well as an image that's embedded into the Mandelbulb file. But you can't see it. You get an M3P sitting there. Let me show you. Let me save that as an M3I. I'm just going to make it, I'm going to keep it weird like that. Now, if I'm in here, all right, there is my M3I, but Windows doesn't know how to interpret that and give me a visual. So saving as an M3I really doesn't help you in using your Windows File Explorer to see what that looks like, to get some ideas. Well, yeah, I want to work with that particular graphic today. Now, if you were using Mandelbulb to open, if you were to try to open an M3I, you see, you navigate to, and you should be able to see a preview, and I am not seeing a preview. All right, now that's very interesting. All right, now that could be a bug. It could be not working properly. It could be something I'm doing on my side. But you try it. Try it on your own PC. You should be able to open an M3I, navigate to your personal library, and you should be able to see a preview. Okay. In this case, I'm not. I don't know why. All right. But that's okay because I don't rely upon M3Is anyway. They tend to be big files because they're embedding the image into the file. I prefer to have my JPEG sitting there so that in my Windows File Explorer, I'm able to see what that graphic looks like, and I say, hey, that's the one I want to work with today. You see? All right. So anyway, that's some tidbits, some tips and some pointers for building or maintaining a Mandelbulb library that over time, when you're working on a project, you say, oh, you know, that is a pretty cool iteration, and I want to save it. I don't have to use the mutagen. The mutagen is kind of a fast track to building a nice big library. I mean, I could be in a situation like this. I'll demonstrate it very quickly to end this session. Let's just say I'm working with this. I don't know. Let's make some modifications here. And I'm just trying to really bugger it up here. You see, I could do something like that. Okay, so I've modified it. So now here's the challenge. All right, so you say that's a very interesting graphic right there. The problem is that you don't want to push this to the editor because then that overwrites what you had. You see? So how do I get that into my personal library? You see? There's a couple challenges to be able to do that. All right. Now, you only have two ways to go. Once you've got something here in your navigator, you could say, I don't want to overwrite, but I want to save it. So you could push that back up to the main editor. The other thing you can do is you can push it out as a keyframe. All right, so now there is my keyframe. All right. Now, what you could do now is you can save this animation somewhere. Call it my temporary animation. All right, because here's what's going to happen. At some point in the future, you're going to say, you know, I've got some keyframes in there. Let's give you another one. Let's give you another one. Let's go up here. I want to really modify this considerably. Oh, there we go. Okay, nice modification. Now, I'm going to push this to a keyframe. I don't want to overwrite my editor, you see? All right, that's what I'm trying to avoid overwriting because I'm working on a project up here. I'm going to push that out. Now I've got a second keyframe there. All right, now I have saved this as an animation somewhere. Okay, all right. Now, all right, let's say I finished my other project. Everybody's happy. All right, and so what I'll do is I will open up Mandelbulb. I'll open up my animation in which I have keyframes that have temporarily stored these, in this case, 2 of these interesting graphic designs that I ran across, but I didn't want to upset my project. Now what I can do now is I can push this up into the main editor. I'm not working on my project anymore, you see. All right, I can push that up to my main editor, and I can calculate eventually. All right, and let's push that one up there, calculate. Okay, and then what I can do is I can save this as a JPEG, and let's see, let's call this 8. So now I'm saving these, but what I've done is I've used the animator to give me temporary storage of some Mandelbulb designs that I liked, but I didn't want to disturb my project up on the main editor by pushing them up to the main editor. So I leveraged the animator to temporarily store Mandelbulb graphics as keyframes, save that off into the hard drive somewhere, and then when I had time, I opened up that animator again, and I pushed these right back up into the main editor, you see, and then I went and saved them. it's just a little technique to skirt around the limitation of being able to save a Mandelbulb directly from the mutator, MutaGen. I can't save directly from the MutaGen. I have to go up to the main editor and or copy to the clipboard, or I can utilize the animation, the animation maker, to temporarily store Mandelbulbs and then fetch them up into the main editor later and then save them off into my personal library. All right, so look, way over time on this session. I hope it was valuable to you. Let's move forward and end this session, and I'll see you in the next one, and we'll continue this interesting discussion. I'll see you in the next session.